Hey, Rich. Yeah, he's pretty cool. I think he first showed up in like the John Byrne run of Fantastic Four. It's been like a million years since I've read that stuff. Actually, kind of surprised he hasn't popped up in any of the movies yet, like Guardians or one of those. Everything okay with you? Probably another character I wouldn't pick out for myself unless he was fighting like the Thing or some other Fantastic Four character. He's got a very dark side inspired head, I think. Everybody's staying safe out there. I plan on staying within about 20 feet of this very spot for the entire day. This one's a little bigger. It's on 9 by 12, so it's probably going to take me a little longer. But we're here until it's done. I was trying to decide between a more like standing upright pose or a action-y pose, and I kind of wanted just a more dynamic pose. He's got that giant spear thing. Really coming down here. It's a big vertical. trying to practice better posture. That way you don't see my big dumb head on the camera. Started a little earlier today just because I fell behind yesterday. I was hoping to get this piece done yesterday, but yesterday did not go as planned in many ways. Thanks, Samuel. This is just a prelim, so it's kind of the idea where I'm trying to go. You can tell how much I missed the mark by seeing the intent, I suppose, but it just gives me something to start with. Especially with characters I've maybe drawn once or never before. But I'm just trying to stay productive and do some stuff that makes people happy. This is for a gentleman named Kurt that I met at Gem City Comic Con a few years back. He and his brother and his crew are extraordinarily nice folks. Big comic fans. Hey, Shane. A little more actiony. At least that's kind of how I see it. Good afternoon as well. Sorry, I missed one of your comments. Sometimes it takes a little while for them to show up on my end. Hey, Allison. Hope everything's okay in your neck of the woods. Oh, cool. Yeah, the only way I know how to do it is through the YouTube app on some TVs. Can you do it through Facebook? Is that how you got it to work? Like you could somehow get Facebook on your TV? Some of the stuff is crazy and I know so little about it. That's why I have to have people help me. I sometimes watch YouTube stuff on my TV, like panels from shows, from conventions, comic conventions and stuff. There was a Jack Kirby retrospective that had like Will Eisner and a bunch of other artists hanging out, which was really cool. Oh, that's cool. Thanks for the heads up, Jason. I had no idea. Um, I had two light sources that I was planning on. One being this stream of energy back here. So there's one light source here, and then obviously the biggest light source is here. I'm gonna open my seltzer water here, so forgive me. Should have done that before. I believe this is going to be a black and white one. I'm pretty sure it was. At least that was my memory of it this morning when I looked at my list. I shared Dylan's video earlier. There's a few other people that are doing live videos as well. Sean Forney's been doing them. I've been trying to get my buddy Nate to do them. I think he'd be really good at them because he could show people really cool coloring stuff by just showing his screen on top of his normal drawing stuff. Something like that, Doug. Doing them like this helps me keep them prioritized so that people get their sketches faster and gets the word out. So, on the weekends, I'll be doing stuff like this, and then probably at night, still doing the Wednesday night live giveaways. But during the week, I have to work on pages and stuff, and it's just with all the crazy stuff being up in the air right now, you know. And I keep hearing from folks that they're just having a rough go of it, and they tell me that they like these, so I feel like in some small way, even though during a crisis, my profession is fairly frivolous. It makes other people happy, so if I can help out in some small way, that's what I'm gonna do. I had a few people just PM me like, thanking me for having something different to do for people to do. So it helps me focus. That's where the wrist is. I can hear my neighbors yelling, so if you guys can hear it, sorry about that. Sure, Doug, if you want to. Yeah, just PM me and I can give you an address to send it to. Um, yeah, I mean, people are just on edge, and I don't blame them. I don't know if I've ever gotten to that level with my neighbors. It just seems like they argue about, whose turn it is to take out the trash, that sort of stuff. I have to pull up just some reference to make sure I'm getting the weapon right. Looks kind of like Simonson. That's the burn one. That's the one that I remember. The reference that I was sent also had like some Heroes Reborn stuff on it. So I'm trying to have them be a little bit shinier than the old one. But that's the one that I remember. Smashing stuff, jeez. That's crazy. Yeah, it's scary stuff, so hopefully they sort it out and handle things with some civility. One of the things that I always notice when people draw characters holding like a staff or something like that, if their knuckles don't line up, makes the object look like it's bent. So that's good that they haven't come back. I mean, if they're smashing stuff, that's crazy. And you know, in this time, there's just so much stuff going on that, you know, who knows how long it would take the authorities or whoever would need to come out and deal with them to do so. So much going on. There have been sirens like every day for the past like week and a half going past my house. Hey, Burton. Doing okay today. Hope you're doing well. Hope everybody's safe. I've been watching more videos of people draw than ever before. I actually haven't really taken a deep dive into streaming stuff just because I've been enjoying so much different content. It's a totally different thing for me. You live next to a hospital. Yeah, we live, you know, a few blocks from a hospital, but like, you know, you can tell the difference between police sirens and paramedics. I was thinking about just pulling out a random box of comics and treating it like I was going to the comic store. One of my unsorted boxes would be like kind of like going through a dollar bin. Are these new video games, old video games? You play retro games or? Got one of these newfangled devices. I've been playing some old school Nintendo games myself in the morning while I'm drinking my coffee. Got to level 7 on the original Donkey Kong. I was very proud of that the other day. Can't remember if it was Kurt who I'm doing this for or his brother that I did Blast Star for previously. That was a fun character to draw. Like the big furry like lion's mane that he's got. Some of this I'm going to need to tweak, but still chunking it out. Gloves are a little screwed up. What else is new? It's coming out okay. I was just flipping it over to check to make sure the anatomy was okay. You flip it over and you look at it through the light. Ah, yes, that explains it. Yeah, Blast Star was a fun one. I like the theme portfolios. I've actually been thinking about putting together like a theme sketchbook for myself to have other people work on. I mean, it would obviously be Aquaman, but I would like just say pick any character in that, part of the DC universe that you want to draw, like Black Manta or Mira or whatever. Diablo 3 with Girlfriend, the new Doom, and all the classics in Mortal Kombat 3. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I remember the old arcade stuff. I remember going to the arcade to play it. I also remember when, what was the Capcom fighting game with Marvel characters on it? That when that showed up, that was like the bee's knees, the be all end all of arcade games at the time. God, what was it called? It was Capcom, and it had, was it just Marvel versus Capcom? They had both sets of characters in it. I don't remember. It was like a million years ago now. I guess that's just an experience that the young folks don't have anymore. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I lost a lot, but it was okay. It was fun. I wasn't super great on those fighting games. NHL 94 through 97, I'm unstoppable. Unstoppable. Sega Genesis. Not sure how much of this back leg you're going to see because of the energy, but I'll show some of it being like transparent, and then you'll get a little bit of the foot so you can see that it's all connected. boot things. Oh, he's got bigger. See, he's got like the bigger, those things. This, I have some like asteroids floating in behind him. Do some dry brush and create like a burst coming in behind him. Give it a little depth. And that way also I can have more of a hard edge on the shadow behind. That was just an experience we had. I don't think the young folks will have again. Or when you spend like $2 or $3 on a game that's just terrible. I think The Simpsons had a joke about that where I think Milhouse goes and plays like Waterworld, the arcade game. He puts in a bunch of quarters and then he takes like 2 steps and he dies. That's there. I just want to make sure that it's framing it well enough, and we want the energy to look like it's like busting through. You don't want to cover up too much of the figure because, you know, you pay for a full figure. I got to give you as close to it as I can with keeping it interesting. And sometimes where I like get a little stuck is because if someone wants a full figure and they want it also an action shot, you know, sometimes it's tough to get the whole person in there without having it be one of like 3 or 4 similar poses. All right. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, there's some retro arcade stuff. Like there's one in Providence I've been to a few times where you just pay a cover charge, like you're going to see a band, and you know you can play all the games for free, quote unquote free. Let me just take one more look at this to see if there's any other edits I want to make. Right now I'm just looking at it through the light so that I can at least get a different look at it. I can see it's easier for me to see all my mistakes that way. Now, normally he has a big shadow behind his eyes, you know, in the upper eye socket, but because of the light where it's coming from, I don't think it would have as big of a shadow. Yeah, definitely. That's how I would look at it, Mike. Sometimes when I'm just sitting there in my table or my desk and it's just me, it's tougher to just keep plugging along. The reference I got had more like Jim Lee stuff in it, so there's going to be just a little bit more rendering than I sometimes do. Hey Jim, how you been? Thanks for popping by. Sounds like a plan. Take a nice little break. Well, thanks for popping in on your break. I'm doing okay. Now that the streaming stuff is working close to what we had planned initially, I'm feeling better about it. And yeah, there's a meme going around about artists and graphic designers. I think it's also just that, now that they don't have the option of going out, that people are having a harder time with it. I think people like having the option and like choosing that, what they want to do, having that whole free will thing. At least a couple of my friends, at least that's what they've told me about it. Like that's why they're having a hard time. I mean, considering we spend, 8 hours a day alone on a drafting board or in front of a computer screen. Trying to remember where I have all that energy. I don't want to have to white everything out. like I said earlier, there were some people that said that doing these live, even though they don't have any don't usually have any big stories or jokes, is they told me it's been helping them out some. So as useless as comics would be during the mega apocalypse, if I can help people cope with some stress, that's what I'm going to do, because it's also helping me. Hello to the 3 people over on YouTube. One of them might be my parents. I show them how to watch it on their TV. I do enjoy the Bob Ross. I think I'm going to watch some later. It's very relaxing. It's only a matter of time before the sports gambling sites pick up on, the live art stream game, and they can put odds on whether or not we screw up the perspective or the anatomy on this one. I think there's a future in comic streaming gambling that's just completely untapped. FF238. Now I'm going to have to look up what issue FF238 is. That was during the Burn run. He was 200 to almost 300. Just so that I don't ink over it accidentally, I'm going to put in the bar. There was another joke going around that had, comics replacing TP, and it was specifically referring to 90s comics, and it just said, "Don't forget to remove the foil covers." I had a giggle at that. There were so many foil covers. Oh, I remember that one now. Okay. Yep. Thanks, Allison. The Doctor Doom is not in this issue. Was that part of that assistant editors month that they did? I can't recall. I think I have to do a little bit of halftime because I put some there, but not a lot. Yeah, the trading cards. Trading cards gotta go. Yeah, there was a time when Burns, whether it was his X-Men run or his time on Submariner or Fantastic Four, where I would like pick up everything. But nice soft pages. Yep, the good newsprint stuff. See, you were stockpiling, even though you didn't even know you were stockpiling. Thinking ahead, smart move. I still haven't mastered reading the questions aloud so that people on other platforms can see them. So if people are lost, I'm sorry. Still not used to that yet. This thing makes it nice and easy for me. It puts all the questions like in a row from Facebook or Periscope or wherever. Well, Jim, my buddy Eli helped me out setting it up. So if you wanted me to put you in touch with him, I'm sure he'd be happy to help you out. He has fair rates, and he's an excellent guy. I'm not super tech savvy, so I had to enlist some help. When I did these on my own, I was literally just taping this a camera to my desk lamp, and it, people checked it out because they were supporting me and were very nice, but I would not describe it as a high production value content. Hey, thanks, Burton. Catch you later. Ah, tangent, damn it. See if I can save it. Probably not. Yeah, you can see the powered by Restream in the corner. That's because I have like the free version of the software. It's pretty simple to set up. And it broadcasts to like all the different platforms all at once, which is really cool. And that way, like, even my parents were able to watch, who are even less tech savvy than I am, which is pretty cool. It makes me think of that episode of The Simpsons when Curly freezes himself in the Quickie Mart. He comes out and he says, "I've awakened in the future." Picks up a moon pie. He says, "What a time to be alive." Yeah, because honestly, I couldn't have set this thing up on my own. Please. We've talked about this at shows before. For me, setting up an Instagram account was like, wow, look at me. Mr. Tech Savvy. All right, what I'm trying to do is make sure everything is framed around the energy source. So let's see if I'm able to pull it off. Oh, with pages of artwork, it can be tough because you're just trying to send, images that are hundreds of megabytes sometimes. Dropbox works. Click and drag and then share. Morning, Kevin. Yeah, I fell behind yesterday and got a hefty list I've got to get through. It's a good thing, though. It's a very good thing. Very fortunate. Also, I found out that I was found out that obviously some people are in different time zones and people are able to watch different parts of the globe at different times. So it's pretty neat. That was one of the things that got me to come back and do these more was people coming up to me at shows from like all over the world asking me about them. So here we are. I mean, Galactus is a very cool character, so I hope that they put him into the movies soon and they do a good job with it because he's just such a cool visual and all the stuff with the Watcher. The question is, do we go full Kirby dots on this thing, or do we just kind of energy beam it? I'm not sure. All the crackle. Well, we might be here a little while then if we're doing all the crackle. I might cheat. I might use one of my bag of magic tricks to cheat the crackle, if I'm being honest. Now that I think about it. Because I got 2 more commissions yesterday from friends of mine, and I don't want them to have to wait too long. Because that's always been my uphill battle with these, is having them not take too long. I don't think I'm that slow. I do things that make them take longer than they should, I guess. I don't think there's ever an argument against Kirby dots, except that they do take a long time. And I don't know if I'm very good at them. Let's see if this is. Nah, it looks like we're gonna have to freehand it. I'm gonna fake the Kirby dots. Honestly, because I'm not that good at them. I always seem to draw too few or... See, that's smart, Allison. You were smart. Smarter than I am with that stuff. My buddy Nate makes custom brushes. That's something I gotta learn how to do. He actually made one for me for that Wally comic book so that I wouldn't have to draw the little heads in the crowd. He made me a custom brush that was just like little background heads. And I would just click and drag it around and it would fill it in. Now this is a time where I actually really like the brushes that are when they're starting to lose their ink. So you get these fun little lines that have like little bits and stuff you can't really predict as easily. See, that's smart. I don't know if I would do it for like full people, but I definitely loved using it for just like the little tiny heads that were just like waves of people because there were crowds after crowds after crowds. And we were under such a deadline crunch on that thing that it just needed to get done. Unfortunately, because of that energy, the only place where you're going to see those cool little lines on his boots are just right at the end here. I use this dyeing brush to do stuff that you can see through the energy because it creates a nice little effect. That way you can't really see the form, but because you can connect it with your eye with all the other stuff, it kind of works. Maybe, hopefully. Stand up for a little bit. If you had stuff to do today, I mean, I think I should crank out another one of the single figures if you're not in a hurry. If I can get to yours just a little later this week. That would help me out as far as like making trips to the post office. I have it laid out, but I haven't worked on it yet, obviously. So if you could wait, that would be awesome. You can get Nick's or somebody's just done today and get as many out as possible all at once so that I'm making as few as trips out as I can make. Uh, I know you are. You're awesome, Kevin. Thank you. And thank you for all you're doing at the hospital for the kiddos and everybody. Plus, if you got stuff to do, it's Sunday. Get your stuff done. But I'm trying to get everybody that's on the list, with maybe the exception of the two I got yesterday, done this week. That's the goal. I'm trying to make a routine out of it, so it's pages and then these at night and during weekends. That way I can have a more firm schedule for these things than I have in the past. Right. Daytime PJs, nice. That sounds like a good idea. Thanks, Kevin. Definitely had people wait far too long in the past, so I'm trying very hard to be better. As you can see, I've got like the pieces of asteroid floating around, and that's kind of where what I'm trying to frame the figure with. And then we'll have the energy weaving in and out of it, so hopefully it's got a little bit of depth to it. And right here is where we'll have the light bursting out, hopefully. But like I said, I'm going to cheat on the crackle. Glad I bought a couple of new sponges. Several years, wow. I have had a few folks that were really nice where I got it at one show and then like just stuff happens and they were nice enough to be willing to pick it up at the same show next year and that, saved my bacon. One of the biggest pieces that's I've done that's in private hands is a giant turtle piece that was ink washed for a nice fella out in Ohio. And like I said, those guys are great. But it's definitely the largest piece that I've done for anybody for a commission. It's a full sheet of illustration board. I've been very fortunate. People have been very kind to me with this as far as like turnarounds and stuff go on private commissions. But I still have to do better. I also think just having a list public so people can see where they're at will also help. See where you are in the queue. You can comment. You could publicly ask for a refund if you wanted to, which I will always grant, no matter what, especially with, all the financial times going on right now. I'm looking forward to Heroes more every day, and I hope that it gets to go off, without a hitch. People can go get together and have a fun time and be safe. That's what I hope. This is my cheat on the Kirby dots. I'm just going to sponge it. I don't know, I think I'm just better at this sort of energy. Like whenever I do Kirby dots, I either draw them too big or too many or not enough. Never crack the code on those. I always like the way George Perez did his Kirby Crackle in like Fantastic Four, and then of course the Joe Sinnott inks, of course, help. Alright, I'm gonna let that dry a little bit. But we can go in and work on the various pieces of rock. This one's in front of this energy, so the shadow will be on this side. Another one that's in front of the energy, so we can put a hard shadow on that side. Just a little bit over here. Energy's over here, light will be on that side of the stone. I do think I'm going to add some more rocks. Of course, for those of you that watched the color stream last night, I found my yellow ochre about a half hour after finishing. I want to save some of this smooth line here because what's going to be behind him is mostly, it's not going to be solid black. What I want to do is actually use just a slightly watered down ink to give it a little bit of a pushback into the background. So just to manage some of that, I do think I am going to have a piece of stone here. And what that does is having something behind him here preserves this hard edge, and you're going to lose a little bit of it as we go through here and add, the space background. So what I need to do is finish erasing all the random little notes that I put for myself on here. Clear out the rocks. And I'm not going to completely erase that bit, just so that I have some bit of a guide. If I were doing this not on a stream. Oh, thanks very much, Kevin. That's very nice of you. I did post on, there's been a few places where folks have been asking for people to post stuff about their local shops. Oops, got a little bit of a eraser smudge, but we can take care of that. But New England Comics, who I do a lot of work for on the tick and custom covers and that kind of stuff, they have a system called the FAST system where they will mail you your books to you. And they have an online catalog that has current issues, back issues, all kinds of good stuff there. So it's in my link tree. So there, if you click on that on my profile, it's can get you to all your comic book goodness. Since we used the sponge here, we don't want to use it in the background because I would try to only use it for one texture per thing. But what I have right here is, you can see, this is another one I haven't marked, but it's not quite true black. And what I need is I need some water. We're going to do a dark background wash to try to get some cool energy look. And this is just water. Thanks very much, Michael. You can see it gets a cool bleeded edge on that, and we can go in with a little more water. We can pull it if we want to. And it creates just this nice little wash effect, even with the really darker ink. Like I was saying last night, some people go ink wash underneath their watercolors, and it's a perfectly legitimate way to do it. Make sure I get this right. Yep, the energy goes that way. So a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah. Over here, we want it fairly dark. It looks dark, but it'll dry to where you can still see the edge of the crackle, my fake crackle. But because this is just going to be a black and white, I'll use some bleep waterproof white to make some stars and some fun spackle. We'll make this nice little fun explosion-filled space battle. I actually just filled my other one. Refill this one. And we can start with the asteroids. I definitely think these come out better at home than when I'm doing at conventions, in spite of my best efforts. I've done some okay work at shows, but I don't know, I'm just more confident. I get nervous. It's hard to do that stuff sometimes. It's always good when people show up, though, or if it's somebody that has commissioned you before and you can talk to them, and it's it's a little less nervous. Thanks very much, Allison. I'm gonna go easy on the wash inside the energy stuff. I want that to be very bright. Gotta pull up that reference again. I think he's pretty much gray and red. He's got some blue. That's going to be lighter. Okay. Thanks, Kurt. Glad you like it. You pick fun characters to draw, so try to do Nice job for you. I try to do a nice job for everybody, but there's just some, like, anytime anybody asks me to draw Sonic, it looks like the stuff of nightmares. Like, I try so hard, but it comes out so bad. It really does. And it's always kids that ask for Sonic, so I'm not going to say no, but I do ask them if they would like anything else sometimes as politely as I can. And it's almost always at Free Comic Book Day. And they're always very polite and very nice, and you want to just make them happy. I wish I was as fast as Bob Ross with his paintings. I'm very glad you like it, Kurt, because you're going to be the one that has to look at it. I want the hardest light to be basically a line that goes perpendicular here from his eye, hard white, even blown out lines here and here. And there's going to be like some shadow cast from his head, but there's going to be very little wash in there. At least this is the thought process. A little bit right there. Nothing over there. That's right. Look at it. Look at it. Look what I threw my money away on. It's a little too dark. There was a mistake. Sorry. Should just be using the light one for that. And that's where you can see the leg through the energy. See, there's like a little bit of like wash there so you can see that there's something there. Nope, nothing there. Maybe a little extra on the end there because it's far away. I don't know if I need a ton of spatter, but just a little bit. I do it the least scientific way. I do like the poor man's airbrush, as I call it. I want a little bit coming up this way, so that's it. I think that's all I want. I'm going to come back in with some white, have it come out that way. Just makes just a little spatter. I've definitely overdone the spatter on plenty of pieces, trying to make up for like shitty drawing. I think I drew this one okay. I think the shapes are pretty good. But start to come back in here. Makes it look shinier. See the little spots. Not going to go too crazy with the white. Just a little bit of like electricity around. Just on a couple of the rocks that are real close to the energy. A little bit of pure white on those to pull them forward a little bit. I wouldn't put them on all of them because they're not all the same distance away, but these are pretty close. That's got plenty of white on it. Just a little bit right there. I think I'm pretty much done with this one. I might tweak it a little bit. I do want to fix that blah I did right there. Get rid of that ink smear. Sign it in the lower right in my usual spot. End of the signature is now at 20. Used to be a 19. But there we go. There's my crack at Terrax. It was very fun. Thank you again, Kurt, and I will pack this puppy up and get it out with the rest of the stack on Monday. So hopefully I'll be back on shortly. It's about 3 o'clock, but it's going to take about a half-hour break, and hopefully come back and knock another one out this afternoon. So thanks again. I'll catch you later.